Hi friends, good morning. So welcome to yet another session of success factors. So in this session, we will talk about the effective data entities on a conceptual level. So in order to understand the concept of the effective data entities, let's start with an example. Coming back to the slide point, let's take an example. We have a user who was hired on January 1, 2017 into an organization, and that organization which had all the HR processes run via SuccessFactors. Now, during the hire process, certain effective data is created. So there is certain effective data which is created during the hire process. So these are all the objects, the SuccessFactors objects which are effective dated. So these are examples as job information, compensation information, personal information, etc. So in SuccessFactors, following records will be created upon hiring the user. So this first column is the user ID column, then the start date, which is in the YY-MM-DD format. Similarly, end date, and then the HRIS element, which is nothing but the SuccessFactors object. So we have an example. The user ID was, let's say, K Smith, and then the start date, since the hire date has been January 1, 2017, and we are making the entry of this particular user in the system. The start date is 2017, like 01 January 2017, end date. So this is an entry which is created anew. So the end date will be the eternity date, that is 9999, 31st December, and this is for the job information. Now similarly, for the other two objects for the same user, the two records will have the similar entities that we just saw, starting from 1st January 2017 till the 31st December 9999. So this goes well for the compensation information and the personal information HRS elements as well. Let's move further. All right, so moving further. So now let's say after a year of working in the organization, K-Smith has earned a promotion in the designation. So since he has earned a promotion in the designation, so as a result, also a change in the compensation as well. So there's a change in the job and compensation information for this user starting January 1, 2018, which is as depicted as following. So in this table, so we have K. Smith, whose start date has been 01 January 2017, and now the end date, which was earlier the eternity date, will be end dated by December of this month. That is 31st of this year. That is the 31st December 2017, which is a previous record of job information that we had. So what happened is this previous record will be end dated, old, and updated. So this was the old record, and this old record would be updated with the end date ended to the ended to 31st December 2017. And a new record will be added, which will be starting from the start date would be 1st of January 2018 till the eternity date. This is for the job information object. And this is the new record which will be created in SuccessFactors for users job information. So this is a new record and it's freshly been inserted. Similarly, since the change in the job designation also brought him the change in the compensation, so the similar changes would apply in the compensation records as well. So the user ID case with having the start date 2017, that is the 1st January 2017, would now be end dated to the 31st December 2017, and this is the old record which is updated in the end date. The new record for the compensation information would be added starting from 1st of January 2018, and if you notice, this 1st of January 2018 is the date from which the record needs to be in effect. That is, the designation and the compensation of the case smith would be in effect starting from 1st of January 2018. So hence the start date is 1st of January 2018, and it would be antedated by the eternity date, and this record is the new one, and it's the freshly inserted record. Now for the personal information. So since we have not made any changes to the personal information of the case myth and personal info, there is an object which is again an effective dated one in success factors. So the case myth user, this particular record would not undergo any change for the personal information. So it would remain as it is, 1st of January 2017, and ended by 31st December 9999. All right. So another thing to note over here is moving to the next slide. Uh, another going to the slide point itself. Another point worth noticing here is how the record version is antedated once the new record is inserted. So how the record version is antedated once the new record is inserted. So that is one thing which we want to observe and discuss here. So for an example, if one changes an effective date field such as pay grade and set the date when the change should be effective to, let's say it would have been 1st of January 2019, the system records 31st December 2018, that is to be effective day -1 as the end date in the background. So the to be effective date has been 1st of January 2018. So now this is the to be effective date. So at this date, the new record or the new job information would be in effect. So the previous job information needs to end by the day, which is one day prior to the date on to which the new changes would be in effect. So hence 31st December 2017, which is one day prior to 1st of January 2018, becomes the end date of the previous effective dated record. Right. All right. So let's have a view over to the SuccessFactors application UI and see how the effective dated entries. We'll take an example of per personal object and we'll go from there. So let's switch over to the UI. Okay, so we are here in the application, SuccessFactors application, and herein we will search out for a particular employee by the name Hima Das. So Hima Das, her user ID has been 103217, and she has been a development analyst with the organization for it's been quite some time, for a couple of years now. So she joined in 2017, January 2017. So since January 2017, like as of effective date of January 1, 2017, the first name, last name has been Hima and Das respectively. Salutation has been missed, so she's not, the marital status is single, she's not married. And so this is a personal information object, which is again an effective dated object. If you look at the history here, so yes, so as in January 1, 2017, the entry has been maintained, and this has been for the personal information, first name, last name. There is no middle name as such as of now. Salutation is missed, and single status is single. Marital status is single. So now, let's say, okay, so what's going to happen is like she, as of the coming year, she is going to be married. So as of, or let's say the start of the year, she was married. So as of start of January 2019, she was married. She has been married. And so there has been specific changes in the record, personal information record. So what are those changes? So as of January 2019, so we are making that entry here. As of January 1, 2019, the first name is Hima, and her husband's name has been Aaron, and out of sheer love she wants to put his husband's or his life partner's middle name as the middle name. So she decides to basically put Aaron's name here as her middle name, and the status changes from single to married. All right, and the salutation is Mrs. now. So these are the changes that she has undergone. And let's save this record. All right, so if you now go and check the history, so still it is 2017. The new record has not taken into account, for the reason being that has gone into the workflow, wherein the changes needs to be approved. So if we go into the workflow for the changes to be approved, let's see who the user is, who needs to approve the changes. Okay, let's see the workflow participants. So it's Christian Dolan and Tessa Walker. All right, so let's try to log in via Tessa Walker and approve the changes. All right, so after logging via Tessa Walker, so we can see there are a lot of approval requests for approval on her inbox. So let's go and seek out which one is the one corresponding to the Hima Datt's personal information change. So it is loading. Okay, so it is personal information change for Hima Das. So this is what it is being asked for approval. And these are the changes. So salutation has changed from Miss to Mrs. and marital status from single to married, and the middle name has been changed to Aaron. So she says congratulations, Hima, and says approve. Okay, so after approval, what would happen is the records for Hima Das would also be taken into account. So let's say if we are able to see Hima Das records from here, it says now Hima Aaron Das. So let's go to Hima's employee file. So we are in the employee file for Hima, and then let's see the change, the history, and we are expecting to see 2 records here. Yeah, so in January 2017, she was a miss when she joined, and now in January 2019, starting of the year, she has been a married person with Aaron as her husband. So we have got 2 records now. So if you want to see like how the data looks like now in the backend, so let's have a look at the Postman now. So this is again the Postman tool. Now herein we have put in the query wherein we are querying the per personal object in the JSON format right now, and we are filtering it by person ID external, wherein the value is equal to 103217, which is the ID corresponding to that of Hima Das, and the from date parameter. So since it is an effective dated entity, so from date to date and as of date. So these are some of the parameters which we are definitely going to discuss in further slides. But as of now, we can take it that okay, from this we will get all the changes which has been done 2016 onwards, and we are selecting certain minimal characteristics or attributes out of this particular object. So let's try to run this. All right, so we have the results array. So within the results array, we get to see 2 rows. So the first row corresponds to the start date time of 2017-0101. So wherein the personal ID we know 03217, last name Das, first name Hima, marital status. So this is a code value which corresponds to single 10819, and the salutation which corresponds to miss is mentioned here 30085. Now, if we go into the salutation NAV, the navigation, we can see the external code as miss over here, And further down in the pick list labels, we will be able to see the external code MISS in all capital letters corresponds to Miss in Great Britain English, and again Miss in United States English, and Frau in Deutsch. So this is how the records, the first record is, which was there in 2017, and now the changed record for 2019 has been here. So now the middle name has come in, which was not there in the earlier record. We go and see middle name. No, it is not there. So let me minimize this earlier record. So now this particular record has got the middle name as Aaron and also the first name as Hima, marital status 10820, which would be corresponding to married, and salutation 10809, which would be corresponding to Mrs. So if you say this now, yesterday, like in the previous record, we saw salutation label. Now let's see the marital status. So we have expanded the marital status navigation as well, and herein we see the external code as M, and what is the label corresponding to M? In Deutsch it is verheiratet, and in Great Britain English it is married, and even same United States English it is married. So these are how the records are maintained now. So since this is an OData output, the JSON output, so dates are there in the Java time or Java milliseconds, Java milliseconds, so which needs to be converted. So let's go back to the format as atom, so that we will be able to better comprehend the values shown up in the YYYY-MM-DD format. So let us go here. We know okay, so these are the two entries, the two corresponding to two rows that we have. So herein we have the start date as 2017 0101, 1 January 2017, and herein we can see that the values in this particular record, so it will be little down in the output. Yeah, so these are all the labels which are coming up earlier, and these are the values. So we have the start date 01 January 2017, personal external ID 103217, the middle name has been null, null is equal to true, that is no middle name has been provided over here. Last name is Das, and yes, first name Hima, marital status 10819 corresponding to single, salutation 30085 corresponding to Miss. So this is how the first record has shaped up. The second record, so we can see the first record has ended upon 31st December 2018, and the second record, which is in effect from 01 January 2019, has the start date as the same, and the end date is the eternity date, that is 31st December 9999. And here we can see the middle name as Aaron, and the marital status also changed from 10819 to 10820. So this is now Mrs. Sorry, this is now married, and salutation is now Mrs. So these are the changes, or now the two records we can see when we queried the per personal object, which is an effective dated entity. So herein what we wanted to know, like let's say if there would have been only a single record, that is only the record which was there in 2017, then the date, the end date would have been. So let's go back to the first object. Yeah, okay, so okay, we still have to scroll a bit further. Okay, so let's, you know what, let's remove the expansion from the navigations and re-execute these. All right, simpler, right? So wherein we can see the first record. So this is the first record, entry 1 and entry 2. So in the first record we have currently what we are seeing is it is starting 01 January 2017 and being ended on 31 December 2018. And the second entry start date has been 1st January 2019, and it is ending till eternity. The end date of the first record and the start date of the second record is being separated by 1 day. So that is what we wanted to understand from the previous slide, that the end date of the first record or of the previous record is basically end dated to the start date of the upcoming or the next record minus 1. That is a day prior to the start date of the next record. So, and again, if we want to seek out that, okay, if this entry would not have been here, then what would have been the end date? The end date would have been the eternity date. Yeah, we can validate that understanding as well. So let's go back to the application, and let's say we delete this entity itself, the record that we created on January 1, 2019, and let's say delete. And this, since we did it in the correction mode, so there's no workflow approval which would be required over here. And now we have only one record here. So if we go back and the postman and we submit this job one more time to query in the data, so it will give us only one entry, and the entry 1, it has the start date as 01 January 2017, and it ends at 31st December 9999. So hence, what we understood from this exercise is the way effective dated entities are maintained. So the end date of the previous record is 1 day prior to the start date of the upcoming record, and how the end effective dated entities are maintained in the backend. We also did an exercise to basically input the values to an effective dated entity from the UI screen. So in a way, we are able to now correlate the way data is entered, inputted, or the way the data shows up on the UI, and the way the data is structured at the backend, the way it is outputted into the Postman or a tool or via an ODATA API call, right? So yeah, so thanks for this. Thanks for your listening. Have happy learning. Thank you.